Hello everyone, welcome to this new series of relational databases. So before we get into what relational database is and how they work, let's first look at the problem at hand. What problem are we solving? So the problem is the core challenge of health data management. That is, how do we tackle the management of millions and millions of daily patient records as well as their lab results, the appointments and billing entries without making a mess for ourselves? So the most obvious question anybody can ask is why not just use Excel or spreadsheets? So we all know that spreadsheets are great for smaller, simpler tasks, but for large multi-layered data, they fail. They just fall apart. Think of spreadsheets like one giant, messy notebook for the whole uh, hospital, and everyone is going to scribble on the same page, which is going to make chaos for us, right? And the chaos will be because of four major factors. First, we have data duplication. So in spreadsheets, every time a patient visits, their name is going to be typed again for every visit. So there is that is not just a waste of time, but also there is a high risk of typos, and one single typo can lead to the loss of existing patient records and the creation of a new patient, which is not something we want. Then we have data inconsistency. For example, Dr. Smith with spelled with an I is in one row, and Dr. Smith spelled with a Y is in another row, which is not correct. They are both the same person, but because of some human error, they have been written into separate rows. So the data is inconsistent. This is a very common problem with spreadsheets. Then there is difficulty in querying. So suppose a manager asks you to show me all the patients that Dr. Smith saw in January who have diabetes. So this is a complex query, and in spreadsheets, it's very hard and very manual work to um, extract those patients. And you will have to do filtering, you will have to do sorting, and then you will have to extract the rows manually, which is like lots of work. And in database there is just a 5-second query. Then the most important one is security and access, uh, which is in spreadsheets there is an all or none phenomena. You either show all the data to someone or you show none of it, which is not an ideal case for us. For example, we want the billing department to see the billing entries data, but we don't want them to see the confidential patient records or the doctor's data. So that is almost impossible to achieve in spreadsheets. You either have to mm, either there is a complete transparency or a total friction, which is not again ideal for us. So what's the solution? uh, so the alternative is using a database. A database is nothing but a structured digital filing cabinet. Think of it as a library where everything is put in their specific places in a very structured manner. Then a relational database. A relational database is basically a set of smart spreadsheets. What does smart spreadsheets mean? We're gonna see that uh, in the next slides. But a relational database is a set of smart spreadsheets, and we call those smart spreadsheets tables. They are linked together. So basically, a smart spreadsheet is that each spreadsheet contains the data of a single entity. For example, there will be a sheet that contains patient's data. There will be another sheet that contains the doctor's information. There will be another sheet that contains the information about appointments. There will be a fourth sheet that contains the billing entries information. So instead of using one giant messy sheet, we have multiple cleaner separate sheets. And um, the magic part is that each table will have a unique ID linked to them. So we're going to see that in the next slides. Then we have the building blocks of a relational database. This is very necessary to understand. Before understanding relational databases, we have to understand what a table is, what a column is, and what a row is. A table, as we discussed before, is a smart spreadsheet, which is a collection of related data, or we can say that a table contains the data of a single entity. For example, patient's table, there will be a doctor's table, and so on. Then we have column or field, which is basically the attribute of that entity which is stored in the table. A specific piece of information in the table. For example, a patient has different attributes like first name, last name, date of birth, etc. Then we have the row. A row is a single complete entry for one item. For example, the complete information of one patient, like their name, then their last name, their date of birth, all this that information is called one record. So these were the building blocks of relational database. Now let's look at the magic link. Mm, So the magic link in relational databases are there are two magic links basically. One is primary key and the other is foreign key. So basically in relational databases, every table has a unique ID which can never be empty, and we call that a primary key. For example, in patient's table, there will be an ID called the patient's ID, and um, like two separate two different patients can have the same first name, the same last name, but they can never have the same patient's ID. And think of uh, primary ID in case of patients is their medical record number, which is very common in health databases. So it is always unique and can never be empty. Then there is a foreign key. Foreign key is also a primary key, but that is taken from one table and placed in another table to create a link between the two tables. So, is you can see in this example, uh, this is the appointments table. We have the appointment ID, which is the primary key for the table. Then we have the information about the appointment, like appointment date, the reason of the appointment, etc. And then we have two foreign keys. One is the doctor ID and one is the patient ID, which are basically primary keys from patient's table and the doctor's table, borrowed here to so that we know that which doctor is the appointment for and which patient is the appointment for. So now we don't have to write all the patient's data. We just write their primary ID here. Primary key here is a foreign key, and we know that the appointment is for that specific patient. So the next thing is designing a database model. Uh, a database model To design a database model, we use entity relationship diagram as shown in this picture. You can see this is a very simple entity relationship diagram for a relational database. And what it does is basically it shows us how these different tables are linked together and what is the relationships. So there are a couple of things that are important to understand in ERD, in entity relationship diagrams. First thing is that the yellow key, as you can see here, here and here, that represents the primary key, and the lines show how the foreign key link back to the primary keys. Basically, there are these lines between the tables. They show the relationship between these tables. So this is uh, this was about entity relationship diagrams, and we basically use these diagrams to visualize the relationships between different tables and to understand the schema of understand and design the schema for our databases. So then the next thing is a database management system. So to understand a database management system, we use this analogy. We think of the database management system as a librarian. So we call the database we said earlier that a database is like a library. So then the database management system is a librarian who actually, what a database management system does is it is a software that manages everything in the database, and some of its functionalities include organization of the tables, then finding information for you, querying, for example, then keeping all the data safe, which is security, then recovery, making backups of the data, and then there is concurrency, which is basically to ensure that two people do not write on the same file at the same time to keep the data consistent. Then there are a couple of softwares that there are lots of softwares actually, um, for database management system. There are lots of database management system softwares, but a couple of them are very famous, and these are the ones that we will be focusing in this course. First, we have PostgreSQL, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, AWS RDS, and Google BigQuery. These are some examples of relational database management systems that we will be focusing on in this course. Okay, the next thing is the language. How do we communicate to the so-called librarian or the database management system, to be more specific? So, mm, normally we talk with people in plain English, right? In our own languages, but a database management system is a software. It does not understand plain English. So there is a language that it understands, and it's called SQL, the standard language for um, structured, the standard language for relational database management systems. And SQL stands for structured query language, which is to ask the relational database management system to do some task. And this is an example of an SQL query. This is a what a basic SQL query looks like. Select first name, last name from, and these are the attributes, the column names, then from a a specific table, where, and this is the condition that the patient ID will be equal to 1002. So it will give us this result that the patient is John Doe. Okay, the next thing is, why do we trust this system? So, relational databases are trusted widely for critical data like health data, finance data, etc., because of four main reasons. There are four rules that they follow. The first one is atomicity. Um, Atomicity is basically a transaction is either fully completes or doesn't happen at all. You can't have a booking with no patient, or like for example, if you send someone some money, it will either be sent to their account or not deducted from your account. So this is atomicity, that a transaction will either happen or not happen, and there is no in between. Then there is data consistency. The data is always in a valid logical state. You can't book an appointment for a patient ID that does not exist. So, data integrity is a very important and prioritized a lot in database management. Then there is isolation. If two people try to book the last appointment, only one will succeed. They don't interfere with each other. As we said earlier, that database management systems ensures um, concurrency, that two people do not write into the database at the same time. So basically, only one person can do the task at one time. They don't interfere with each other. So there is isolation of transactions. Then there is durability. Once you save the data, it is saved and will survive power outage. For example, if you save your data, your patient's data into the database, it will be saved even if the computer is turned off. It will be saved and it will be there permanently. So these are the key takeaways that uh, databases solves or problems of chaos and mess that is created by um, redundancy and inconsistency in spreadsheets and Excel. Then there is relational databases which use linked tables. Then the links are made with primary and foreign keys. That is one concept that we covered. Then a database management system like PostgreSQL or MySQL, etc., is a software that manages the data. Then we talked about the language that the DBMS understands and which we use to query the database. So this was all for this lecture. The next lecture will be about SQL for health data analysis. So that's all. These pages.